Hi, it's Laure, your friendly neighborhood physicist. I'm stuck home today because it's raining in Paris and I have not much to do. As I was discussing with my colleagues here, one of them made jokes about Rick and Morty, the TV show, and he mentioned that Rick and Morty is on Netflix and that it's totally worth seeing because it's about some drunk scientist traveling with his son or grandson, something like that. So full disclosure, I've never seen it, I don't even know who is Rick and who is Morty, but I figured it would be fun to do a react video and maybe I can comment on some of the science we might see in the episode. By the way, do you know that the pilot episode of a TV show is called a pilot because it's the first time the TV show is on the air? Like, in the air? Anyway, let's go to the episode.
Morty, you gotta, come on. You gotta come with me.
What, Rick? What's going on?
I got a surprise for you,
It's the middle
Morty.
of the night. What are you talking about?
Come on, I got a surprise for you. Come on, hurry up. Gotta go.
Ow,
Gotta go.
ow,
Gotta get out
ow,
of here.
you're tugging
Come
me
on,
too
I got a
hard.
surprise for you, Morty. What do you think of this flying vehicle, Morty? I built it out of stuff I found in the garage.
Yeah, Rick, it's great. Is this the surprise?
I had to make a bomb, Morty. I had to create a bomb.
What? A
We're
bomb?
gonna drop it down there.
Oh,
Just get a whole
oh,
fresh start.
oh.
Create a whole fresh start.
That's absolutely crazy.
Come on, Morty. Just take it easy, Morty. It's gonna be good.
You can't blow up
I
humanity.
get what you're trying to say, Morty. Listen, I'm not. You don't gotta worry about me.
It's funny because they are flying some kind of spaceship, some really crappy spaceship, but it feels almost like they're on the road in some vehicle. You know the way that the ship is going up and down, it feels like it's hitting rocks. And the flags behind the spaceship would not be going that smoothly back and forth. If it was really going at a flying speed, it would be clapping very, very fast. At the moment, it looks like the flag is behaving on a boat that's sailing smoothly with a nice wind, not flying. If we were to compare, a sailboat is going at maybe 5 miles per hour, a car is going at maybe 30 to 40 miles per hour, and then a plane would be going at 160 or 180 miles per hour. So we're really not talking same velocity of objects.
She's all for you,
I
Morty.
don't care about Jessica.
You know what, Morty? You're right. Let's forget the girl altogether. She's probably nothing but trouble, anyways.
Arming neutrino bomb.
That's it, Rick. I'm taking the wheel.
Get off of me, Morty.
I'm taking
Come on.
charge of this thing.
I had to make a couple checks to make sure I'm not saying anything bad. What is a neutron bomb? The bombs that we use, that I know of, are mostly the plutonium bombs, the ones that were used to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And what they do is they use fission from nuclear material. So you have an unstable material, and the atom is going to break apart into several chunks. When these chunks break apart, a lot of energy is released. So the bomb is exploiting this power to have a relatively small bomb that can have a blast radius that can really damage an entire city and then go beyond it. Since then, we've developed even more powerful nuclear bomb called H-bomb. And these bombs used fusion. It's a reverse process. Normally, an electron or a proton or a neutron cannot enter the atom because there is a force that's fighting it back. But if you have enough energy, if you can give your neutron, your proton enough energy, it can fight this force, go into the atom and fuse with it. And so you change the type of element that you have. That's what's happening, for example, inside the core of the Earth, where lighter atoms can fuse together because there is so much energy. That's what's happening in the core of the sun, or in a lot of places where very high energy is concentrated together. But in our case, Rick and Morty, I think Rick is a kid? I'm not sure. We'll see. Rick and Morty, the scientist guy made a neutron bomb. And what's a neutron bomb? It's a bomb that releases neutron. And the specialty with a neutron is that it's not particularly damaging to material like stone and buildings and things like that, but it's going to irradiate humans. And I just checked on Wikipedia, it was developed as a goal to have clean wars, when you don't destroy the infrastructure, but where you can kill the people. Now the bomb still has quite a blast radius, because if you release a ton of energy, you're gonna break stuff. But the purpose of a neutron bomb is specifically to kill people. No, and so what this guy is doing with his son and that girl Jessica is that he's trying to kill everybody on Earth, but leave them the Earth usable. Which is slightly weird. And so he's very drunk.
Park it right here, Morty, right here on this side of the raging road here.
Oh, thank God.
You know what? That was all a test, Morty. Just an elaborate test to make you more assertive.
It was?
Sure, why not? I don't know. You know what?
Neutrino bomb armed.
Wait, I was wrong. It's not a neutron bomb, it's a neutrino bomb. Okay, I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. Because neutrinos are these very, very tiny particles that don't really interact with anything. They have almost no mass or no mass. I'm not completely sure what the scientific consensus is. But basically, neutrinos are everywhere in the universe, but they almost never interact with anything. I will show you a few pictures so you see how insanely beautiful it is. Because neutrinos interact with almost nothing, we need to build these really large caves where we have no particles, no light, no noise that's coming to disturb things. And then we take very, very long measurements with a lot of detectors to see something. And it's these magical caves that are just paved with detectors everywhere. So they can catch the very few of the neutrinos, of the many neutrinos that are passing by that are going to interact with something by chance. What makes neutrinos remarkable is their ability to pass so many other things without interacting with them, so we are not blocked by our galaxy that's emitting a lot of lights and particles in our way. These neutrinos could come from much further away. And there is a profound question about the existence of neutrinos because we don't understand when we have more matter than antimatter in the universe. You would think that if you have nothing, let's say you have a pot with nothing in it, and you create a potato, then in order to keep the equilibrium of nothing, you would have like a negative potato in the pot as well. But the reality of the universe is that there is more potato than anti-potato in the entirety of the universe. Because also if you put a potato and an anti-potato together, or a particle and an anti-particle together, you should see them cancel completely. And it's not entirely the case because we have the creation of something called entropy, which is a kind of measure of the disorder of the universe, and it can only ever increase in time. The best way that I found to explain entropy is to think as the universe balancing itself out. So if I put a pot of hot water in a bath of cold water, the water and the heat are going to distribute until everything is equal. And you're never ever gonna find all the hot water or all the heat going into one spot in the shape of the initial water I put in the bath. So what we see happening in the entire universe is an exchange of energy and of heat in order to balance things out. But let's continue, shall we?
I see there's a new episode of that singing show tonight. Who do you guys think is gonna be the best singer?
Oh my god, his head is in his food. I'm going to puke.
Morty.
Side note, but it's such an American meal. I'm not sure how everybody is still skinny with a burger patty, an egg, a bunch of sausages, and some very boring rice. There is like not a single vegetable inside, and that pink drink looked very sketchy.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, we're gonna be dealing with some real serious stuff today. You might have heard of it. It's called math. And without it, none of us would even exist. So let's jump right in. 2 + 2.
Jessica.
I always wished I could go to one of these American classrooms and see one of these desk tables and all the people piled like that. Because in Switzerland, you have desks that are for 2 people and they're all made of wood. And usually we stay in the same class every day. So we have our own main class, we have our own official position. And so we can keep stuff in our desks that raises. So there is always fight because as a kid, you have to learn, not to leave your finger when you close the trap and learn to manage your stuff so not everything spills out when you forgot to take something out of the desk. I always find it kind of fun how all these kids are sitting and they have like no object. Aren't you supposed to have a bunch of books and papers and notes and pens? I don't know.
Good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough. First row, take one, pass it back for me. The stakes are high in this room. There's crucial things happening here every day. People getting smarter, some of y'all getting dumber, some of y'all ain't gonna see 3 o'clock.
Well. Morning, Frank.
Morning? What is that supposed to mean? Are you making fun of me? Are you trying to say my family's poor?
Oh, jeez, Frank. I don't know if a knife is necessary. I mean, you kind of had things handled without
You're
it.
telling me how to bully now? Big mistake, Morty. Now I'm gonna cut you. Because my family's rich.
There you are, Morty. Listen to me. I got an errand to run in a whole different dimension.
What'd you do to Frank?
Pretty obvious, Morty. I froze him. Now listen. I need your help, Morty. I mean, we gotta get the hell out
I
of
love
here.
how the kid is getting bullied and his first reflection is like telling the bullies that he's kind of dumb and overdoing it because he didn't need to put all of that effort into it. But as a note, like freezing people sounds really, really cool, but you cannot really do it in real life because if you use cold, even if you freeze someone extremely rapidly, the water in their cells is going to expand and a bunch of stuff is gonna break. There is a few wealthy people who ask to be frozen into a deep state, so maybe they can be woken up when we have a technology to live forever, but for the moment, this is just not possible. There is too much damage happening when we freeze things. We should be able to remove the energy off of everything without having phenomena like crystallization. But that's extremely tough to do, and at the moment it's impossible on something so complex as a living creature.
Oh my god. I'm about to walk past Frank Policky. This is the story we'll be telling our children. Hi, Frank.
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Knock, knock.
There she is. All right, come on, Morty, let's go.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, man, Rick. What is this place?
It's Dimension 35C, and it's got the perfect climate conditions for a special type of tree, Morty, called a mega tree.
I'm looking around this place and I'm starting to work up some anxiety about this whole thing.
All right, calm down. Listen to me, Morty. I know that new situations can be intimidating. You're looking around and it's all scary and different, but, you know, meeting them head on, charging right into them like a bull, that's how we grow as people. Now, if you just stick with me, Morty, we're gonna be... Holy crap, Morty, run! Morty, run! I've never seen that thing before in my life, Morty! I don't know what the hell it is! We're gonna die!
Okay, this first episode looks like the grandfather is putting his grandson on drugs and making him do very trippy things. I mean, I like the aesthetic, but I understand why the son would have some anxiety. Ooh, I love this scenery. Some of living arches, weird trees that float around. The planets are way too close. The planets are way too close to be like that in real life. Because in practice, we have a relation between the distance of two objects and the force of gravity. And at some point, if you become too close to an object, you can no longer fly around it, you are going to crash. It's one of the issues with planes, for example. Planes don't go high enough that we can just have them orbit the Earth in a more or less easy manner, the way we can do that with satellites. Because once you've put a satellite in orbit at a high enough altitude, you only need a little bit of fuel of energy to adjust its position so it doesn't crash into other objects or like maybe flies off. But in general, its position is going to be stable. And in that case, these planets are very beautiful, but they just shouldn't exist here like that.
Morty, take a deep breath. Breathe that fresh air in, Morty. You smell that? That's the smell of adventure, Morty. That's the smell of a whole different evolutionary timeline. It defies all logic, that thing.
Yeah, Rick, I get it. We're surrounded by monsters. That's kind of the reason why I want to leave.
Morty, you see this? You see what we just stumbled upon,
The mega
Morty?
trees.
Any idea what that is down there?
The mega trees?
That's right, Morty, the mega trees. With the mega fruit on them. These things really bring it all together. You have to turn them on, Morty. The shoes have to be turned on.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, maybe I am. I'm my father's daughter. I'm smart. Why do you think I'm a heart surgeon?
Horse heart surgeon.
Okay, hold on just a second, Morty.
Wow, Rick. That stuff just healed my broken legs instantly.
He's a very talented scientist if he can make stuff that can heal a broken leg and like put all the bones back together at the right place like that. Like, I have to approve. I'm not sure we can do that humanly. At the very least, you would need to take the bones and like put them back in place and maybe remove some of the shards, you know. Just saying. And we still don't know what these seeds are about.
I had a lot of fun with a lot of young ladies, but I spent so much time there, my interdimensional portal device, it's got no charge left, Morty. It's got no charge left.
What?
It's as good as garbage, Morty. It's not gonna work anymore, Morty. We're gonna have to go through interdimensional customs. So...
Summer?
What kind of god lets this happen?
We had a little incident. A student was frozen to death.
Okay, so at the very least, when you freeze a guy, he dies. They got that part of physics correctly.
It's gonna be great, Morty. All kinds of science.
Okay, next through. Except you. You go over there.
Why does he have to go over there?
Random check. He's got to go through the new machine.
What new machine?
It's a new machine. It detects stuff all the way up your butt.
Run, Morty! Run!
Oh, nice, Morty. The student becomes the teacher. Ah! I don't want to shoot nobody.
They're just robots, Morty. It's okay to shoot them. They're robots. Glenn's bleeding to death. Someone call his wife and children.
They're not robots, Rick.
It's a figure of speech, Morty. They're bureaucrats. I don't respect them. Just keep shooting, Morty. Come on, Morty. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Wow. Did you just come into the cafeteria through a portal?
Yeah, well, you know, my Ferrari's in the shop. Just kidding.
You're Morty, right?
Yeah.
You can get his number later. Come on, Morty. We gotta get out of here. You gotta get those seeds out of your ass.
Oh, look, honey, it's our son with Albert Eindouche.
What?
I'm an angry father, not an improviser.
Dad, how could you make my son miss an entire semester of school? I mean, it's not like he's a hot girl. He can't just bail on his life and set up shop in someone else's.
Morty, tell your parents the first law of thermodynamics.
The increment in the internal energy of a system is equal to the increment of heat supplied to the system. Wow, I'm so smart.
Holy crap, he's right. But
I told the both of you school is stupid. It's not how you learn things. Morty's a gifted child. He has a special mind. He's like me. He's gonna be doing great science stuff later in his life. He's too smart for school. He needs to keep hanging out and helping me.
Jerry, I don't want whatever's happening here to stop.
You know, I understand. Maybe we overreacted, but he has to keep going to school.
Okay.
Holy cow, Rick. I didn't know hanging out with you was making me smarter.
Full disclosure, Morty, it's not. Temporary superintelligence is just a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in your... And once those seeds wear off, you're gonna lose most of your motor skills, starting right about now.
I love these watches. This show has some really nice details, I have to say. Like, there is a little antenna, I think, on one of the watches. It's very, very nice touch.
Sorry, Morty, it's a bummer. In reality, you're as dumb as they come. And I needed those seeds real bad, so now we're gonna have to go get more. And then we're gonna go on even more adventures after that, Morty. And you're gonna keep your mouth shut about it, Morty, because the world is full of idiots that don't understand what's important.
Okay, I really like that episode. It's a bit of a mix of South Park and The Simpsons. You can feel the influence with a normal middle-class family, but also with the strange adventures happening. I quite like that the character of the grandfather and the son is kind of strange. The grandfather seems like a really mean guy. I'm not a big fan of most of the heroes on this kind of comedy being really mean because it kind of normalizes it. And I would appreciate to have someone who is super weird, but also kind. You know, because those people exist and it would be fun to have a show about that. But I really like the fantasy setting, the fact that they have portals that they can jump, it seems fairly easy, and that the show starts with a lot of potential adventures. The first Star Trek TV show was a revolution and everybody loved it. But the issue is that the ship could fly everywhere in the galaxy at all time, and then it could teleport people everywhere and get them back from everywhere. You just had to call and they would beam you in and out. So that caused an issue because when you are trapped or in danger of life, you know, why wouldn't you get beamed out of the show? And one of the consequences in the show, and you can see it in that episode when he doesn't have enough battery to use a portal to go home, is that then they need to keep inventing excuses as to why the beamer only works in like that one room or that one specific setting so that we can have the full adventure and not just have themselves beam out of issues. But I'm definitely going to watch the next episodes. I'm very curious about the show. I like a good cartoon with adult humor. So let's see what the show has in the next episode.